legislation may have changed, their policies may have changed, and you weren't a carer at that point, and things have changed for you, changed for your employer. So get up to speed with the employment, the policies that are on offer and the procedures, and see if there's anything in there that might be available to you. And be realistic with your requests. There might be legislation, there might be laws, there might be rights, but at the end of the day, your employer is a business or a charity or an organisation that's got targets, and you've got to look at it from their perspective as well. But how can you have that positive relationship where you can have a discussion that helps you meet your needs, but also helps the employer to continue to drive their business? And plan ahead and think about what support you might need in the future. If you're caring for somebody with a diagnosis and you can see that the journey of that person is going to change, and therefore your caring responsibility might evolve over time, think ahead, think about what you might want to do in the future and how that conversation might need to go with your employer. And find out what help is available locally and nationally. There's lots of projects, Jeff will talk about one, there's lots of opportunities out there. Go and have a find out, because you might not need it today, you might not need it tomorrow, but it might be useful for you further down the line. And find out what financial support you might be entitled to. I think if the agenda's been the same, Paul gave a presentation this morning about the finance of benefits. So I'd always say, go and talk to Paul and find out what might be able to support you there. So if you're a carer in work and you're thinking of leaving work because of your caring role, a few things we'd advise you to think about. Think about what your options are first. Request flexible working. You have a right to request it. The employer doesn't have to give it, but you have a right to request it. So always think about that as a potential option. Take time for paid or unpaid leave. Give you time to think. I think sometimes when we're in crisis, we can make snap decisions, which mean just go, I can't cope anymore, I'm going to stop. Actually, take some time. Take time out to think about what your options might be, to go and do some of that research. And if that means taking some unpaid leave, if you're in that position to be able to do that, take stock and don't rush into any decisions. It might be that a career break is actually going to be a good thing. Maybe you want to think about going in a different direction anyway, and that career break might be that option, and to combine that with your caring role might be an option. To check that you can afford it first, and don't just give up work if your finances are going to be an issue. And again, talk to somebody about the benefits that might be available. Talk to someone generally. Talk to somebody, your employer, your manager, your HR team, your union rep, a friend, a colleague. See if there's somebody else that's had similar experiences and how they dealt with it. And check all your options before you just resign, because there might be an option with your employer for voluntary redundancy. Early retirement might be an option, or a new direction and training business startup. And again, keep looking at Jackie, she's going to talk about that soon. So think about all those other options that you might want to go in a different direction with. So a few things that an employer can do practically, or you can encourage your employer to do, is to look at flexible working practices, things around flexi time, home working, annualised hours. I'm going to be really careful how I say the next one because I am tired, so shift swapping. Self-rostering, staggered hours, job share, time working, part-time working, flexible hour, holidays. There's lots of different ways that an employer can maybe think differently about how they structure, and that can be a benefit not just to the employee but also to the employer. Think about annual leave, and emergency leave, compassionate leave, dependence leave, planned leave, all the different ways that leave and holiday might be able to support that carer to be more flexible as well. Management, think about how you can encourage a culture of positive workplace management that supports carers in the workplace, and that can be through training awareness, even supporting with the set up a carers champion and identifying somebody who might be able to be that point of contact for carers in your organisation. Looking at your policies, do you have a carers policy? Are they carer-friendly practices, and are they live and available? It's all well and good having a policy, but if nobody knows about it and it's not refreshed, then it's pretty pointless really. Practical support, as I say, it's not just only just about that legislation and those hard duties and rights. It could be just very simple things that might be able to help somebody in the workplace, or for as a carer to ask for those sort of things. It could be a place to be able to make private calls. If you're a carer and you're just worrying about somebody, that reassurance that you can just go and have a quick chat with somebody when you need to. Quick access to parking. If you're a carer and you need to be able to dash off at the drop of a hat, then having the closer parking space might be an option. Or mobile phones at desks, and that might be an unspoken rule about, well, in this business our phones are tucked away and that's just how we do it here. But if it's permission is granted to say yes, you can have your phone on your desk, and you can just see if a text message comes through from the person you care for, it might just give you that bit more reassurance that you can be got hold of if you need to. Workplace support, you might be able to put in place more formal things like networking groups, employee assistance schemes, and flexible benefits. If you're a larger scale organisation, you might be able to offer things like disability insurance, healthcare insurance, childcare and care vouchers. But the most important one, any organisation in Lincolnshire must do, is to sign up to the Lincolnshire Carers Quality Award. And I would say that because we run that scheme. So the Lincolnshire Carers Quality Award is free to any organisation in Lincolnshire who wants to demonstrate that they understand the needs of unpaid carers. It's built around 5 standards as part of the Carers Charter, and what you do is you demonstrate how you meet those 5 points of the Charter through putting together a portfolio of evidence, and that can be screenshots, photocopies, copies of anything that you drop into a folder and you build that portfolio of evidence. With a number of organisations, it might be that it's just demonstrated things that you already do. For other organisations, you might need to think about things like introducing a carers policy, a carers notice board in your foyer, a page on your website. It could be a range of things. That portfolio is assessed by a group of volunteers who assess it, and if you're really, really good and you meet all the criteria, you get the badge, and you get posters, and you get me tweeting about you. What we also do alongside that is we offer carer awareness training. So if your organisation is thinking about going for the award, we can come in and we can offer your staff a couple of hours training on general carer awareness. I know that we've got carers in the room, so you're not an organisation, but you might know organisations that you think are not necessarily understanding of you as a carer, and you can signpost them to this and we can help them to really understand. Or it could be your employer that you want to sort of encourage to go through this. And as I say, it is free for any organisation in Lincolnshire. We've got a range of organisations from hospitals. We've got Peterborough and Stamford Hospital have achieved the award. We've got EMAS that have achieved the award. We've got doctors' surgeries. That's fine. You're welcome to step out and take it if you want to. We've got a range of organisations, so schools, doctors' surgeries, fish and chip shop. It can be any organisation. So ULHT have signed up to it, and they're doing working their way through every single ward. LPFT and Lincolnshire Co-op have signed up recently, so we're working our way through Lincolnshire Co-op as well. So please refer anybody interested in that. Another project that supports carers in employment is the Working Together project, and this is a slightly smaller scale project that's happening in the south and the southeast of the county, and that's slightly more deeper, working with a very small number of businesses and carers to just really get them to really understand their duties, understand their rights, and to support in potentially setting up peer support groups in those businesses. So I can give you more information on that if you would like to be part of the scheme that actually goes in and does a bit more direct support with you. This is when I start to read off the screen, because this is not my project. So this is a project that's delivered by Sortified, and it's supporting people with caring role into employment, volunteering and training. And that's part of a suite of projects as part of the Move scheme. Sortified is one of the 24 organisations across Lincolnshire working together to help people into work, training and volunteering. And while the overall project is there to support everyone, Sortified's focus is on supporting carers who want to become job ready by finding finding volunteering opportunity and getting back into paid employment. I have to get a bit closer to the principal. The type of support that they offer is around training, qualifications and help people to meet their personal employment goals, volunteering opportunities to develop transferable and practical skills, access to the My Work Search, which is an online support tool, and ongoing personalised support even after you have started working. And financial help is available for travel, childcare and respite care costs. And the sortified element of the project is very much around offering one-to-one person-centred support to help people find the right opportunity for them to develop skills and find the right solutions. And they understand that gaining employment can be hard, and a paid job may not be the right endpoint for everybody, but that support is there. And Sortify can help you to become job ready, find a volunteering role, and look at being self-employed or gain a part-time or full-time role. I'll hand over now to Jackie, who's going to talk about her project, and it's really great because I've been reading her slides up till now, and you get it from the horse's mouth in the nicest possible way.
Basically, there's not much on that slide anyway. Hello, my name's Jackie Elton, and I am Project Officer for the Succeeding Together project, which is one of the 24 Move projects. Our project is quite unique in that we look at only working with women, and we now had a little bit of a pivot, and we are working at helping women to look at starting up their own business. Where the project comes from, the